y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Me too.
All right. Sorry about that. My PC decided to freak out for some reason, so I had to shut down real quick. Oh, fun. All right. Welcome back to season 2, episode 3 of the Studio C podcast. The fun show.
What's good? What's going
It's
on?
going on, Kid Vicious. Yes, I'm going back to Kid Vicious because Vicious just sounds too plain, so I'll put the kid back on there.
All right, we got some things to talk about. Why is my face? Why am I orange?
I want to be at home, but I'm in my Mustang. My driver's driving for me.
Is that what it is?
He said what?
Is that what it is? You sure you just not getting picked up by Miss Dean?
No, I own a blue
Mhm.
2015 blue Mustang. What are you talking
All right,
about?
that's great for you, man. I don't know how true that is.
All right, let's get right into it with Phil's what's on our mind this week.
Yes. So, what's on my mind this week? I just have a bit of a hot take or a thoughts, and that is Insomniac Spider-Man 2, the new Spider-Man game that came out almost a year ago now, which is kind of crazy thinking about it. With the year coming up and some things that I've heard and everything, I must say it's a good game. At the same time, it has to be one of the most disappointing games of of the year last year, and really, I don't want to say all time because that's a bit crazy, but it's definitely one of the more disappointing games. Like I said, I'm not sure if you guys played it or not. Either way, I'm not going to spoil it or anything. But it's just as far as replay value, it doesn't have much replay value at all. And really, the game is just really short and feels rushed through. And I think more than it being a bad game, I just think that, as a fan and, a lover of the game, you just look back at all the missed opportunities they had with the game. That's really it.
But the first one really wasn't that. Even Miles wasn't really that replayable either.
Yeah, I agree. The first one, only thing else. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, KB.
Like any of them, but if a Spider-Man fan says they're not, it's not worth replaying, and I love to replay video games, so if it's not replayable, I probably won't even touch it.
Yeah, I would say the first game had great story and it's long. It feels like, it has a lot of story in it. The Miles game is amazing and then it did what it should be. The Miles game was short. It was meant to be short. Kind of a filler through getting you through to get to the next game. This game is honestly just a little bit longer than the Miles game. If you play the Miles game or familiar with it, the Miles game is short. It's really short. It's meant to be short. So that's really the main thing with this. We waited all this time and the game really short, rushed through. Like to talk about how it's been rushed through, you'll have to kind of talk about the story, which I don't want to do, but just rushed through. And yeah, as far as like those two things, just disappointed. And pretty sure I don't see them not coming out with any DLCs, but just for the meantime, it's coming up on a year and they still haven't confirmed any type of DLCs or extra content with the game, which is kind of even more disappointing. But I do know Insomniac is they're busy. They got the Wolverine game coming out. I know they're working on a couple other games, so that could be it as well. But yeah, I just feel like as a fan of Spider-Man and a fan of the game, it's just kind of disappointing.
now that I'm an actual normal color. Um, there we go. But yeah, didn't they have a huge update like not too long ago?
Yeah. The updates have just been as simple as giving us new skins of it. Which is cool, it's fine, but it's that gets boring real and played out real quick once you swing around a couple times.
Yeah, I still might pick it up when it comes to PC. I love the first two. Um, and I've heard great things about this one. You're actually the only negative one that I've heard.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. Let me also be clear. I'm not trying to bash the game. Like it is a great game. I think I said it was my game of the year last year. Like it is a great game. It's just more so than it being disappointing. Maybe I used the wrong word. It could have been so much better than even what it was. It's just a lot of missed opportunities, missed potential, just because I feel it's been rushed through. And yeah, that's just my personal opinion on it. But
Let's get right into the show. Interstellar is re-releasing in theaters. Let me see. For its 10-year anniversary, I think this month, August? No, December. Um, it's re-releasing for its 10-year anniversary in December. In theaters. Uh, I watched about half of this movie. It does feel drawn out a lot. It's a great movie, but it is slow.
So what's it about? Like space?
Yeah, pretty much space. Yeah, it has the GOAT, Christopher Nolan, as director. If you don't know Christopher Nolan, he directed the um, Dark Knight series, Interstellar, Tenant, that came out in 2020. Let's see. He directed Oppenheimer, Dunkirk. There's one popular one with what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio. Inception. And countless other movies. Man of Steel he directed. So one of my all-time favorite directors. But yeah, this is a great, decent movie. Not one of my favorites just because of how slow it is, but
yeah,
They
and
should have made a
what
second Man of Steel.
I actually
Used to
agree
have
with that.
Man of Steel a real.
Yeah, but what was the movie called again? Barbecue. I know y'all said it was a space movie.
Interstellar.
Okay, yeah, I have not seen it, but I have heard about it, and yeah, I feel like and of course not all space movies, but a lot of them that is kind of a common thing with them. They are kind of slow to start off with, getting into it because it takes them a while for that build up to happen. I know that's kind of a pattern like that. Definitely not all of them, but with a lot of them. But yeah, and you said they're re-releasing it back in theaters,
Yeah.
right? Okay, that seems to be another thing that's going on with re-releasing movies. I don't know if I would see a re-release. I don't know. It would depend on what it is and what the
Yeah.
occasion would be. Yeah, I don't know. Have you guys ever seen a re-release movie?
I have not, but
I have. I've seen The Godfather in theaters. They for the anniversary. Went to the movie to watch that. It's the only one in the theater too. I was so happy.
yeah, there's a few
But
movies I'd watch. Like, uh, I'd watch definitely Inception. Um, whenever if it re-releases, I definitely watch Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters again. Um, I'd watch the Batman, like any Batman movie, any Iron Man movie. Uh, I feel like superhero movies in general are just good in the theaters. Uh, I definitely want to see Endgame in theaters also again. But like something long and drawn out, I don't know if I would. Just because you're just at a certain point, you're just sitting there and just waiting for the movie to end.
Yeah.
All right. Some good news for GTA fans. GTA 6 is still on track for fall of next year. Um, a lot of people were thinking that it might get postponed because of the video game strike going on right now, but as of right now, GTA 6 is still on track for fall 2025.
GTA 6 is not gonna release in 2025. Next thing you know, they're gonna tell us it's gonna release in 2028. Like, no, that game is. I don't even. I just want the game. Just release the game. I don't care. Release a beta or something. Gosh, we're going on what, like 12 years now, or 11? Like that game is just. I don't want to even hear anything. When I see news about GTA, I just literally swipe up because I don't even care at this point anymore.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's still on track to come out next year is great. I know it does seem like a while, but I don't know what your time has been. So it's really not as long as it sounds. So I mean, the fact that you know, basically not too far from this time next year, I mean, we're gonna have GTA 6 right now. That's great. But I agree with KB. I'm kind of on his thing about it. Not as negative as he is. Like he doesn't believe it, but it definitely is a thing for sure. As I won't believe or really listen to anything until I see the game. Until they put out until I have the game in my hands basically, or I'm able to pre-order it. That's the only time I'm gonna believe something or get my hopes up. But one thing, as long as they're taking their time with it and coming out with a good game, with a great game, that's really all that matters at this point. I understand we've been waiting. I mean, it's been what, like KB was saying, 11, 12 years. What's another 2, 3 years going to be at this point? As long as they come out with a good
Oh,
quality game at this point, that's what I care about. But I was gonna say something I forgot. But yeah, then as long as they come up with a quality game, I think that's what mostly matters.
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind, like Phil was saying, I don't mind that if they like push it back as long as the game's good. Like if it's something like Cyberpunk where it you push it back like 10 years I think it was. Um and then you come out with a buggy game, it's just kind of like, okay, you had 10 years to perfect this. So, but if
Yeah,
they come out with an amazing game, no or little to no bugs, and just everything everyone dreamed of, I feel like that would be a success.
yeah. I think the only thing I'll say for GTA or Rockstar in general, as hyped as that trailer was and got everyone, maybe they should have kept it in the vault for a little while longer until they were more sure about some things as far as the game coming out on time and everything. Because we've kind of had some back and forth since then. Discussed before, it was they were on track for the fall 2025. Then they had said 2026, and now we're back on fall 2025. It's just one of those things. That release date, while I got everyone hyped, it also has everyone back in kind of the waiting for it to come out mode. I think maybe they should have kept that in the vault a little longer until they were, sure or fully confident that they would be able to release the game at the date that they say.
For me, like I always tell you, I'm a Rockstar fan. Rockstar heyday was on PS2. Since then, they've had a couple of hits with Red Dead and Red Dead 2. But since and GTA 5, since that, they've missed with Cyberpunk. And yeah, that kind of riled people up. So I think another reason they're probably taking their time on this is they don't want to miss again. They kind of want to like be the Rockstar again, you know? So, because at one point, Rockstar could just drop anything. Especially like I just said on PS2, they could drop anything and it'll be a hit. So, yeah. I mean, if they drop it 2025, okay, cool. But I'm not getting my hopes up for 2025. I'm about to switch to my laptop, so give me a minute.
Um, Next up, I wasn't planning on this, but Star Wars Outlaws releases end of this month.
Oh man, the end of this month.
Yep, August 30th. So 20 days from tomorrow.
Yeah, that's coming up. The Star Wars Outlaws. I would love to see a little more gameplay to come out because it's just I think before when I heard about the game, my first thoughts was okay, I'm gonna be able to create my own character, or whatever, and kind of live that outlaw life or wherever in the open world. So when I saw the launch trailer, the first gameplay trailer, I forgot which one it was, but when I saw that, and so it's a set character you play as, and it's a storyline. It kind of uh, not disappointment, but kind of the excitement for me went down after that for me personally. But nevertheless, I don't think I'm gonna get it right when it comes out, but I'm definitely going to have to check it out eventually.
Yeah, and we don't know. It could always be like a GTA type thing where there's a online mode to where you can create your own character, and there's a story mode.
Yeah, I didn't think about that yet. Hopefully it is a thing like that. I think that would be really cool. Only thing about that, um, I don't think it will. I think hold it for like the first few months, let the game come out and have that come out, and then bring that option along a few months after the initial launch of the game. But yeah, that'd be really cool if they came out with something like that.
So apparently there's news on it. Star Wars Outlaws doesn't let you kill or steal from friendly civilians. So not I guess not like GTA like a lot of people hoped. But again, that could just be the story mode, not the online mode. If they come out with
What
an
I
online
missed?
mode. We're talking about Star Wars Outlaws because it releases end of this month.
Yeah, that's a game I'm looking forward to. I mean, wait, and I might pre-order it. We'll see. I don't know.
I don't.
I mean, the
Yeah,
concept's kind of basic to me though.
I'm not sure if I'll get it right away, like Phil was saying. I might wait a bit, just because they are locking stuff behind a paywall, and I don't like that. But I don't know. I might pre-order it. I have no idea. I got a decision to make. I actually should if I was gonna pre-order, I should have pre-ordered it like a couple months ago. But all right. So
Falcon football is back. I'm
oh,
sorry, I
so
had to just throw that in there.
Steeler football is back too. So I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it looks like it was yesterday. Uh, Travis Kelce announced that he is gonna host a game show called "Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity?"
Okay.
So I don't. I mean, get his bag, get your bag, I guess. I mean, but I don't know. He's getting a little too famous. I feel like it's good. I hope it doesn't affect his football career.
Yeah, I actually personally
I
don't
mean,
have a problem.
he's won
Yeah,
like
but
two
I actually,
rings, so I mean, so that's enough in some players' eyes. It was that was the case with Big Ben, but hey, that's another story. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, ever since the whole Taylor Swift thing, this is not surprising to me.
yeah, I actually personally don't have a problem with this at all. I think this is actually great that he's doing it. First, game shows are fun. It seems like an idea. Kind of stole "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?" But nevertheless, seems like a fun idea. But Travis Kelce seems like he has the personality for that type of thing. Kind of reminds me of like Rob Gronkowski, not as crazy and rambunctious, but he kind of has that personality to host things. And I also think this is perfect because it sets him up for his post career after football. He's on the older side. I believe he's 34, 35 years old. He really only has maybe one more elite season and maybe another season, two, if he's lucky after that or if he decides to. So, kind of already starting that transition, getting ready for his life after football because, you don't play football forever. So, I mean, I like this. I think this is good idea, good for him. And, you know, I don't. I think that he's a professional veteran. I don't think it should distract him or bother him within the season. And I mean, also, that not to talk too long outside, but a lot of times how that stuff works is it's pre-recorded anyway. So he may have
Yeah.
filmed the whole season of that show in like 2-3 weeks during the off season. So I think that this is great for him.
Yeah. Like you were saying, after football isn't everything. A lot of football players actually go broke after they leave the NFL and retire because they don't know how to manage their money well. Um, I know Troy Polamalu. He was really adamant about trying to, uh, especially later in his career, trying to step away from football and do things that are not football related. So he is set up for that after or when he retires. Um, that's why you see him in a lot of Head and Shoulders commercials and this and that. Same with Shaq, really. With basketball, he set himself up good. He's in everything. Like I went to Best Buy, I saw like 30 posters of Shaq selling printers, TVs, fridges. Like he's literally everywhere.
Yeah.
I heard he owned like he's also sponsored by a shampoo company, which doesn't make sense, but I mean,
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing for him is learn from my mistakes so you can keep your hair.
yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, if it works.
Yeah.
All right. Another movie that's re-releasing in theaters is The Batman. I believe it released what 22.
Ye- 21, 22, around then. Yeah.
Um, I watched this movie. Personally, I'm not a fan. Probably one of the worst Batman movies, in my opinion.
You talk about the latest Batman movie?
Yeah.
That's the most depressing movie I ever seen. Like, I was depressed after watching that, and I'm not even a Batman fan, so I was just depressed after watching that movie. That movie was depressing. Like, oh my gosh. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, so I would have to agree with both of y'all. That's not a movie I was a fan of either. I've actually recently have tried to rewatch it 3 to 4 times, and I must say it's not bad. And what I do really like about it is it's probably the most realistic Batman movie. As far as, yes, it's dark and depressing, which does get annoying at times, but that's how you see all the stuff that happens in Gotham. I mean, that's how I would imagine it would be. I love the Bruce Wayne. I don't love the Bruce Wayne, but as far as everything just seems the most realistic. His gadgets are realistic. Everything just seems so. It just seems realistic rather than this, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but I do like that part. But yeah, it was very dark the whole movie. I don't like how he was whispering and stuff the whole movie. I can't hear the movie for one. Like 70% of the movie I can't even hear. But yeah, I do like the fact that it's realistic. But I think the Christian Bale Batman's, the Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. I think that's the perfect in between that's the perfect middle ground for in between, the recent Batman movie that came out, the realism, the dark, but also, it's a movie, a superhero movie of the day. So, I think that's the perfect middle ground. But yeah, that's a movie I would consider probably seeing in theaters just to get another chance and maybe I could hear better or understand what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, with the slow movies, it was slow in my opinion. Um, I barely got through it without going to sleep. Like, uh, but it was very slow up until the end, really. And then yeah, I was not a fan. I'm hoping the next one is better because it has some unique uh, villains we haven't really seen before or rarely saw. Um, like I believe Husk is in there, the next one, and I'm thinking Clayface too. So I'm hoping we get like an origin story for those. Um, but other than that, I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like if I watch it in the theaters, I'm gonna go to sleep. Like dark in the theater, like you're full of popcorn. You're in those, depending upon the theater, you're in those recliner seats. Yeah, perfect opportunity to go to sleep.
Another thing, that movie was way too long for what they gave us. I'm sorry. That movie was entirely too long.
Yeah, they could have easily made it like 2 hours. They could have easily cut an hour out of that.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I hate his costume. His cowl really annoys me. No disrespect to the actor. I don't know if it's his chin itself or the way the cowl is. I hate the way that looks. And his costume, like I said, realistic, but he gotta do a little better than that. It's
He
also
should have
him
stuck to
early in his career.
he should have stuck to Twilight. I'm sorry. Like, no. He should have stuck to Twilight.
All right, next up, D23 was first day one was today. I'm not sure. I believe this was at D23. Bob Iger, which is the CEO of Disney, um, says he would love to get an Inside Out 3 made. I'll just leave it at that. That's his specific quote. So I have mixed feelings about this. I feel like after the success of two, I feel like it will definitely be milked. The series will definitely be milked. Um, yeah, I don't know how I feel about a third one. One is good. Two, okay, if it's a good movie, sure. Af, After two, it's just kind of like okay, you might be milking it a little, and then four, if you make a fourth one, then it's just like okay, you're milking it at this point.
I mean, I'm not really a big fan of Inside Out. I just really couldn't get into that movie at all. It was just too emotional. I know that's a cliche, but I just couldn't get into the Inside Out. Like, I don't know. That movie was just, it wasn't for me, man. Like, no, I really couldn't get into those movies. So, I mean, it is what it is. How, like, a third one, what other emotions are you gonna do? Like, at this point, like, what other emotions are you gonna do? Like,
Um,
mm, and
it
I was like, I don't even feel all those emotions all the time. I don't even feel half those emotions. Like, but hey,
it's been years since I've seen the first one, but from what I remember, it was really good. Second one, I that's another one I have to see. I've heard nothing but great things about it, so that did good. And obviously, more. So a third one does make sense. I think as long as they take their time with it, and it makes sense to make another one if it makes sense and they take their time with it, kind of like they did taking their time with making Inside Out too, because it took a few years. Take their time with it and come out with a good product. I don't really see a problem with it. Like I said, as long as it makes sense, we don't want to run into the despicable situation where we are just milking, just doing a cash grab now. But yeah, as long as it makes sense and the other ones did well, then I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could see it doing well because you got like young age, which is one, teenage years two, and then adulthood three. But like I said, after three, I feel like they should just end it for good. All right. I'm gonna have to shut down my PC again.
I'm glad they're letting Michael Penix play. He started didn't look terrible. He had a couple nice throws.
All right, we are back. What were we saying? Inside Out 2. I think we were done with that one. I don't know what's going on. All right. Let's see. More news for D23. All right. Let's see. So starting off with Marvel, I think. All right. Let's see. It's lagging. Why is it lagging? All right. Oh my gosh, this is annoying.